welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Nina.
And today we're looking at part B of our dialogue called Beating the Heat and Sun. And this time we're looking at some people who are gardening.
Ooh, fun. Not really. I'm not a fan of gardening. How about you?
No, I'm not really a fan of gardening. I don't own any plants. And I certainly don't have a garden. So I haven't done much gardening at all really in my life.
Okay.
But how about you? Have you done much gardening? Are you a gardener?
No, but my mom has a garden in a kind of like a little farm where she grows her organic cabbage and vegetables. And whenever I would visit her, she would ask me to help her in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would have to get rid of the little pests that it had and help her pull out the weed that's taking all of the nutrients from the other plants that we wanted to thrive. And yeah, just do stuff there. And it was really hot and muddy and I wasn't really a fan. So I think I would prefer just having my potted plants at home.
Okay, so you still have plants in your home now?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So that involves some gardening?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't have to go in there and get dirty, so.
Right, so just a potted plant, not an actual garden, but you're still taking care of plants, so it's still sort of gardening.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Just a little bit.
Okay, well, sometimes, as you mentioned, it's very hot and uncomfortable, so you have to try to beat the heat when gardening as well, and we're going to learn how our characters do that in today's dialogue.
Okay.
Percy and Helena are gardening.
Don't you just love digging with your hands and getting them dirty?
There's nothing like it. Oh, I'm starting to feel a bit dizzy.
Hello everyone, today we're looking at part B of our dialogues, Beating the Heat and Sun. So we're going to learn some more about how you can protect yourself from the heat and the sun.
Yeah, so in this dialogue, Percy and Helena are gardening. So when you garden, and it's used as a verb, it means to grow and take care of plants. For example, my grandma loves to garden in her backyard.
So it's both a verb and a noun. So if you garden or if you love gardening, then you probably have a garden.
Exactly.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看单字的部分。Garden 动词从事园艺。Georgina loves to garden on the weekends. Georgina 喜欢在周末从事园艺。接着我们回到课文当中。
All right, so in this dialogue we have two people. We have Percy and Helena. So I'll read for Percy and Nina, you can read Helena's lines.
Sounds good.
So Percy says, don't you just love digging with your hands and getting them dirty?
I definitely do not. But maybe Helena does. Okay.
All right, well, he's asking her if she loves digging with her hands. So to dig means to break up and move the earth or the soil or the dirt that's on the ground. So when you dig, you might usually use something like a shovel. So you're going to be doing this kind of motion. But in this case, usually with gardening, you'd use a smaller sort of spade, as it's called, to dig the ground. But in this case, he's talking about digging with your hands. So you're going to be actually moving the dirt and soil using your hands. And you're, of course, going to get very dirty.
All right, so dirty is an adjective, and it just means not clean. So, for example, his hands were dirty after playing outside or after digging the hole. And Helena responds, there's nothing like it. Oh, I'm starting to feel a bit dizzy. Oh.
Okay, so feeling dizzy, I think that's a bit of a worry that someone's feeling dizzy when they're out gardening. But we also had this expression that there's nothing like it. Now, that expression actually means that there's nothing that compares to how good it is.
Yes.
So in this case, they've said there's nothing like it, but you could say there's nothing like something. So for example, I could say there's nothing like a hot cup of tea on a cold day.
Yes, so it's almost like nothing compares to it, or nothing can beat it, right?
That's right. Nothing is as good as that in that situation, but when we just generally say there's nothing like it, we usually just mean something's really great and really enjoyable.
Yes.
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字 dig 动词挖，它的三态是 dig, dug, dug. We dug a hole to plant the tree. 我们挖了一个洞来种树。dirty 形容词脏的。My hands are dirty after working in the garden. 我在花园工作后手变得脏兮兮的。文法的部分刚刚提到了 There's nothing like 加名词，没什么比得上什么。用来表达对某事物的喜爱或者是重视。我们来看看这个例句 There's nothing like a warm cup of tea on a cold day. 在寒冷的日子里，没什么比得上一杯热茶。接着我们回到课文当中。
All right, so we've just learned that Helena is getting dizzy now from the gardening. So even though she is enjoying the gardening, they both seem to like digging in the dirt with their hands and getting dirty, but Helena is now getting dizzy, which is a worry, I think.
Yeah, I'm guessing probably because she is under the sun and maybe not wearing enough protection like a hat or something. So let's find out.
Your skin is really flushed. We need to get you out of the sun.
I'll go sit under the big UV umbrella.
I'll get the cooling towel and ice packs from the cooler.
While you're doing that, I can use the cooling mist on my face.
Good. I don't want you to pass out on me.
I don't want that either.
Welcome back, everybody. So before the break, we learned that Percy and Helena were in the garden gardening. And just as they were talking about how much they enjoyed it, Helena was feeling a little bit dizzy, right?
That's right. So I guess something is wrong with her. So let's find out what's going on.
Okay.
Percy says, your skin is really flushed. We need to get you out of the sun.
Okay, so your skin is the outer layer of a person's or animal's body. So for example, she put lotion on her dry skin. And he said that her skin was flushed. What does that mean?
Right, when your skin becomes flushed, or if you say someone is looking flushed, that means their skin is turning red and also becoming hot. So this often happens when someone is sick, or can also happen from emotion. Like if someone's shy and embarrassed, they might become flushed, their cheeks will turn red.
Yeah.
It's usually easiest to see that someone has become flushed in their cheeks. These are one of the fastest parts to turn red when you are shy, embarrassed, maybe in love, or just sick.
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的单字 skin 名词皮肤 The sun can damage your skin if you're not careful 如果不小心阳光会损害你的皮肤 flushed 形容词发红的 Maya's face was flushed after running up the stairs Maya 跑上楼梯后脸红了文法的部分刚刚提到了 out of the sun避开阳光 Sun 在这里指的是阳光、日光。我们来看看这个例句 Tom sat under the tree to stay out of the sun. Tom 坐在树下避开阳光。接着我们回到课文当中。
Okay, and Helena says, I'll go sit under the big UV umbrella. Okay, so they probably came prepared with a UV umbrella.
That's right. And UV in this case stands for ultraviolet, and that means it's going to protect from the sun's rays that are harmful. Percy now says, I'll get the cooling towel and ice packs from the cooler.
Okay, so they had a cooling tower that will probably help cool her down if you put it on her or on her face. And they also had some ice packs. So Helena says, while you're doing that, I can use the cooling mist on my face. Okay, so they also had a cooling mist prepared.
They are very prepared for overheating. It must be very hot on this day if they've prepared so many things just to protect from being too hot.
Yes.
All right, Percy now says, good. I don't want you to pass out on me.
Okay, so pass out means to faint or lose consciousness. So for example, he passed out from the heat. You can also say someone passed out if they're so tired, right?
我们来看一下刚刚对话里提到的文法 ，pass out 昏倒。我们来看看这个例句 ：Nick passed out from the heat after running for hours. Nick 跑了几个小时后热到昏倒了。接着我们回到课文当中
And Helena says, I don't want that either. So she doesn't want to pass out. And I think another thing that they should bring is definitely water, right? Maybe she is dehydrated.
That's right. Often when you get, flushed or too hot or dizzy in the sun, it's because you haven't drank enough water. You're sweating a lot, so you're losing water. So you need to make sure that you're always drinking enough water.
Indeed.
But it seems to me like if they've had to prepare so many things just to deal with how hot it is, it might be best to choose a different day or even a different time of day to do this kind of gardening, because you could do it early in the morning or also in the evening when it's cooler, because I think it's not worth risking illness to finish your gardening.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, they love it. So at least they're having a good time. And next time, maybe they'll choose a different, less hot time during the day, right?
Yeah, I think it's better to choose to do things in the summer, do them later or earlier. Like, for example, my football team in the summer will move our training later into the evening so that we're not under the full summer heat, because it does get very hot here in Taipei. And when you're playing football and trying to do exercise and get in shape, you will sweat so much, and you really, really need to drink a lot of water, because it's really is a risk that you might get dehydrated, and might get too hot, and might actually pass out.
Okay, so now we know if you ever do go gardening, be well prepared just like they are and choose the right time to do so.
All right, well, that's all of our time for today. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Percy and Helena are gardening.
Don't you just love digging with your hands and getting them dirty?
There's nothing like it. Oh, I'm starting to feel a bit dizzy.
Your skin is really flushed. We need to get you out of the sun.
I'll go sit under the big UV umbrella.
I'll get the cooling towel and ice packs from the cooler.
While you're doing that, I can use the cooling mist on my face.
Good. I don't want you to pass out on me.
I don't want that either.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 ，garden 动词从事园艺 ，dig 动词挖 ，dirty 形容词脏的 ，skin 名词皮肤 ，flushed 形容词发红的。接着我们来看文法的部分 There's nothing like 加名词，没什么比得上什么。There's nothing like a hot bath after a long day at work. 工作一整天下来，没什么比得上泡个热水澡了。Out of the sun. 避开阳光。It's best to keep this plant out of the sun. 这株植物最好避免日晒。Pass out. 昏倒。I need to eat something, or I'm going to pass out. 我需要吃点东西，不然我就快晕倒了。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，那我们下一次再见喽，拜拜。
One of the indigenous peoples of Taiwan are known as the Sao community. At Sun Moon Lake, there is a pier known as the Ita Thau Pier, a very popular tourist attraction that is definitely worth visiting. What is there to do and see at the Ita Thau Pier? Well, I'm glad you asked, because you're about to find out. Ita Thau is on the east side of Sun Moon Lake. It's the main settlement of the Sao community in the Sun Moon Lake area. Ita Thau Pier is a popular tourism region of Sun Moon Lake. There are many Sao restaurants and shops here. Many tourists go to Ita Thau Pier by ferry. By the Ita Thau Pier is a big wooden platform. The steps lead to Sun Moon Lake. People enjoy sitting on the steps and watching the beautiful sunset. On the other side of Ita Thau Pier is a walkway that connects to the ropeway station. You can take a nice walk to get closer to nature. Visitors who like Sao culture can plan their trip to enjoy the shops and the views around the pier. So when I said ferry earlier, I meant F-E-R-R-Y, which means a boat that transports passengers across water, and not F-A-I-R-Y, which is a mythical creature that looks like a tiny human with wings. They are pronounced the same, but are spelled differently and mean two totally different things. Anyways, next time you visit Sun Moon Lake, make sure to pay a visit to Ita Thau Pier and discover more about the beauty of Sao culture.